You slip beneath the waves and there is no turning back. Darkness envelopes you, the sun's light bleeding away behind you. You drift, weightless, carried by cold currents that whisper secrets you can't quite hear. In the sea's depths, silence is a presence, a living thing that stretches and pulses around you like viscous ink. You are born here, in a world of salt and pressure. The ocean has always been home. Your first memory is of being cut loose from a cavern's womb, no gentle push, no comforting touch. One moment you were curled in a hidden crevice, the next, you were alone, suspended in blackness. Shock jolts you, but there is no time to falter. Your body is strange, unfamiliar. Long, sinuous fins extend from your sides, thin as shadows, twisting like smoke. Your skin is pale, almost translucent, and your eyes burn bright in the gloom. You sense danger immediately, currents shift, unseen predators linger. Movement is survival, hesitation is death. From the moment you emerge, you must feed. The sea offers only fragments, drifting scales, tiny creatures that dance in the dark, flickers of life unmurred. You open your maw like a cavern and swallow what you can snatch. Your hunger gnaws always. Starvation is a slow predator, patient and cruel. You begin alone, but soon discover how to move with the water. You drift in thermals, slip along ridges, glide through canyons carved in the ocean floor. The sea is your maze. You feel pressure changes, sense currents, taste the salt in every swirl of water. The darkness is your protector, your cloak. You avoid surfaces. When you must ascend, you do so silently, briefly, before slipping back into the shadows. Predators lurk everywhere. Strange beasts of jaw and fin drift close in the dark, mouths aglow by bioluminescent lure. They circle, distance closing. You dart. You twist. You vanish into an undercurrent, leaving only a trembling ripple. Your survival is a constant dance with death, choreographed by instinct. As you grow, your fins gain span. What were once wisps become broad wings. You learn to cleave through heavier water. You shift depths more swiftly. Your appetite blossoms, you gulp entire currents, filtering out swarms of life suspended in the dark. But you never forget your fragility. You were small once, easy prey. One night, as you glide near an underwater escarpment, you sense something wrong. The currents flicker in abnormal patterns. The brightness of distant bioluminescent fields dims. A tide of shadows sweeps in. You freeze, feeling vibrations through your wings. Something massive stirs in the deep. From the blackness beyond your vision, you feel a presence, impossible, ancient. The scent of old water, of decay and power. The sea shudders in its presence. You realize, there are things older than memory down here. Things that hunger differently. You try to flee, but the currents shift unexpectedly. There is a drag, a weight you did not sense. Your wings falter. Your heart thunders. You twist to escape, but a gash of cold water whispers across your side. Pain blooms, flaring nerves shock. You fight. You kick, surge your wings, push harder into the surrounding darkness. Your body trembles. You feel pressure compress you, as if the sea itself is pressing in. You realize your opponent is not just one creature, it is the abyss itself, alive and devouring. You dart toward a fissure in the rock, narrow and jagged. If you can slip inside, maybe you can hide. You drive yourself, lungs burning, nerves screaming. You graze the edge, the wall grazes your fin, but you slip in. Your body coils in the cavern's shadow. You hold still. You hold your breath in every nerve. You listen. The vast dark passes beyond the crevice. You sense the presence loom outside. Movement. A ripple of water. Something immense surveys your hiding place. You feel its gaze like a weight on your skin. It breathes. The sea around you ripples, corridors of pressure shifting. For minutes, or centuries, time has no meaning here, you remain motionless. Pain clouds your mind. But the presence stays. It probes. It sends echoes through the rock. It pulses with waiting. Then, slowly it recedes. The currents settle. The pressure retracts. You wait, trembling. When dawn's faint shafts seep from the ocean's surface, you slip from your hole. You push outward, wounded, but alive. Your wing is torn, a raw wound along its span. You feel weakness, vulnerability. But the sea draws you. Hunger pulls. You must resume your existence. You glide back into the abyss, each stroke a victory. Sharks patrol deeper channels, toothy hunters with radiant eyes. You give them wide berth. You drift in trenches where darkness lingers like thick cloth. You hunt the microscopic life that glows dimly in the black. You feed. You grow again, but that wound remains, a scar, a reminder. Night after night you drift further. You explore canyons where silence is absolute. You sense caves that yawn into oblivion. You feel whispers of movement in currents unexplored. Your heart both races and bows to caution. One evening, as you swim through a narrow rift, you feel something pass over you, a shadow, darker than darkness. Strong currents stir. The scent of old water returns. Fear coils in your chest, the wound throbs. You twist to escape, but a tendril of darkness wraps around your fin, cold, thick, crushing. You scream into the void, but no sound travels in the silent world. You wrench yourself free, tearing more skin, more blood. You flick away, vanish into a downcurrent, flee through labyrinths of stone and salt. The tendril lingers, vanishes. You do not linger to see. You escape to open trench. There you rest in a current. You breathe in slow, careful motion, letting pain recede. You look out into the depth and you know, that thing is out there. Watching. Waiting. But you have changed. You survived. You are wounded, but cunning. You navigate deeper paths now, avoid open corridors. You learn new routes, hidden ravines, places the vast creature cannot follow easily. Your appetite returns, driving you forward. You slip through water gardens of plankton, mouth open, filtering life. You gain strength. Your fins stretch further. The wound heals, not of scar tissue across your membrane. Time flows differently in the depths. Maybe days pass, maybe months. But every moment you exist is a tightrope between hunger and fear. You remain vigilant. You never linger near open spaces. You hunt in shadow and currents. You flee disturbances. Then one day, you sense resonance, pressure shifting far ahead, a pulse in the sea floor. Curious, cautious, you approach an underwater tunnel carved in basalt. The currents inside hiss with vibration. Something draws you in, a hum, a call. You hesitate, but the wound aches and hunger whispers. You slip inside. The tunnel opens into a cavern vast and cathedral-like. Stalactites drip salt, bioluminescent algae cast ghostly light. In the center, water spirals, a vortex of darkness. You approach the spiral's edge. The water pulses. You feel memory, an imprint in your body, a hint of that earlier presence. In the vortex's heart, shapes curve and shift, tentacles of darkness writhing around a central void. It is the shape of hunger itself. Fear coils, but you press forward. Your body trembles. Currents tug at you. The vortex calls. You see forms drifting in the dark swirl, shadows of things devoured, echoes of lives lost. You consider turning back, but a pull, magnetic, ravenous, draws you in. You plunge. The vortex closes. Darkness crushes around you. Tentacles wrap. You feel cold embrace of ancient hunger. You thrash. You resist. Pain blossoms as limbs press. You fight with every sinew. You claw through darkness. You scream in silence. And then, rupture. You break free. You explode outward through the tunnel, tearing skin, limbs bleeding, heart pounding. You burst into open trench. You spiral upward, dragging yourself through the currents. You surface briefly in a column of water, your wings broken, sight blurred, exhaustion pure. You fall back into the sea's cold arms. You drift, battered, on the edge of consciousness. The dark presses close. You fight to live. Slowly, strength returns. You drift deeper, into safe corridors. You find refuge in a crevice. You fold wings, blood mixing with salt. You press against stone. You wait. In that silent cavern, you vow, You will never return to that vortex. You will avoid its call. You will explore but never heed that hunger again. You will survive. You don't reject the darkness, you live in it. You move through it, always vigilant, always alert. The sea is your domain, fierce and unforgiving. You bear bones of a battle fought in silence. The scar remains, a line of memory across your wing. And so you glide on, into the silent depths, hunted but hunter, broken but alive. You swim. You endure.